All right, I'm going to clump these two things together because while they're different, a lot of the categories end up being the same. Government bonds, certificates of deposit. Okay, it definitely doesn't have any at the end. Certificate of deposit is, you'll see it short for CD. It's not compact disc. It's certificate of deposit. The basis for these are availability is really the big thing you need to think about. With either one of these, no matter what, a government bond means you're actually loaning money to the government and then they pay you back with interest. Certificate of deposit is like the same thing except for it's at a bank. The availability is the big deal to think about with these. For these two things, you have to keep your money in a certain amount of time in order to get a better interest rate. So you may see like a CD, a 10-month CD for 3%, okay? Or maybe you see a 4% CD for 20 months. The longer you agree to give these people your money, the more money you're going to get in return. Okay, that's a key point to figure out. The longer the deal that you have to give them your money for them to keep, the more money you're going to get. Now, usually you can take your money out, but there's a severe penalty for taking your money out a lot of times. So it's just not very available to you. So if you want to use this money right away, this is not a good option. But this is a good option if you just have something to put away for a long amount of time and you don't need to do anything with it. Because in most cases, the government bond or the CD has a better interest rate than a savings account. And again, it's like one of those trade-offs. Savings account, you can take your money out whenever you want to, but you don't make as much money. Government bond or certificate of deposit, you make more money, not a lot, maybe, the low to medium, but you have to keep your money in for a certain amount of time, okay? Now, for risk reward, this is going to be your low to medium. And when I said low to medium, when I said this was low, we're talking like 1 to 2%, maybe less. Low to medium, you may say like 2% to 5%, I don't know, maybe a little more than that depending on what you find. Short-term, long-term, this is definitely going to be another short-term thing. It's putting money in for 10 months, 20 months, 3 years. Okay, that's a short-term goal. Taxes. Here's where these are a little bit different. Certificate of deposit, usually any money you make, you're going to have to pay taxes on it at the end. Okay, kind of like the savings account. Government bonds. A lot of government bonds do not make you pay taxes on it afterwards, which is really nice. This certificate of deposit, you got to pay taxes on your money before you put it in, and you have to pay taxes on your money after you put it in, just like up here. Here, you have to pay money in tax before you put it in, just like any money you make, but usually the money you make here is tax-free. So if you make $50 here, you get $50, and that's a pretty good perk that differentiates between the government bond and the CD. Let's see here. What else? Interest rate. This is going to be fixed. It's almost like you're signing a contract. Okay? You say that you are going to give them your money for 20 months, and they're saying, here's your interest rate. It's like signing a contract. Okay? So this is definitely going to be fixed for these two options. So the main thing to think about here, the big deal difference from a savings account is you're going to make a little bit more money, but you have to keep your money in for long periods of time without taking it out, or you risk penalty. Differences really between these two, a lot of government bonds are tax-free. A lot of certificates of deposits are not. But this is another pretty low risk option. I mean, it's really nearly as low as this is, with a little bit higher reward, but you do have to keep your money in a little bit longer.